I mean, so far my TikTok is pretty innocent.
What do you get?
I clicked on the stupidest shit. So I.
But are you comfortable with them like fully having access to all of your passwords and every keystroke you make on your phone? And
no, that freaks me out. I mean, one of my earliest interests as a journalist was privacy. I was writing about internet privacy in like 1997.
Oh wow.
Okay, and I realized that this whole thing that was coming for our convenience was going to be a giant system that really, in the name of convenience, took away our privacy. Like you can go through the internet without giving away your privacy. It's just a hugely inconvenient thing to do. And that troubles me a lot. I mean, I think privacy is really, really important, but it's weird because at that time I was really concerned about like corporations spying on people, gathering people's information and using that to target them with products. And the reason that's bad, it's not that I care if like you get targeted with the product, but the reason that's bad, I think, just socially is like, it leads to this winnowing of like what your like worldview is, because you're always just getting pumped the same shit you already believe in.
Right.
And you don't go out there and hunt and gather anymore. So I was like, oh, that's really concerning because it's gonna like diminish like our ability to like have like diverse opinions. But then what I didn't really anticipate, I don't think anybody really anticipated this, was how many people were willing to just give their privacy away, like just throw it away.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, it's fucked to be spied on, but the truth is like most people are dying to have their lives shared with the world, at least the young ladies I see on TikTok. And there's this tremendous amount of exhibitionism and this tremendous like desire to like share every aspect of the self or or at least like a persona of the self. And that is kind of unprecedented in human history. That's never happened before. It's like a giant social experiment.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll sound old by saying that I think it's probably might not end well. But I don't think anybody really saw that piece of it coming. The exhibitionism.
My hope is that it does have negative aspects to it. And it does lead to a lot of mental health problems. It does lead to rampant narcissism. It does lead to a distortion of what is actually important in life. But that we'll adjust and that people will recognize it for what it is. And it'll become a thing where people understand the pitfalls of it, like we understand the pitfalls of alcohol and drugs and all sorts of other things. It's like we'll kind of get a sense of what it is and what it does. And I think it kind of snuck up on people where it didn't exist before. There's no playbook, right? It's like in all of human history, there's never been a time where you could be a TikTok star or a YouTube star or whatever and have all of your life exposed to the world and also reap tremendous financial benefit from that, and maybe even more significantly, tremendous amounts of attention and audience capture, which is you're being molded and influenced constantly by the people that you interact with. And I've been able to see that from the difference between people who read comments and interact with fans and are deeply embedded in their own, air quotes, community versus people that are just kind of independent and they just are interested in what they're interested in and they just talk and they've maintained some sort of personal sovereignty through it all. You see a very different trajectory in the way their content goes. And the people that are constantly interacting and constantly reading comments and responding to comments and taking in those comments, they become more homogenized. You become more in line with whatever the zeitgeist is telling you.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to have independent, individual perspectives that are unique.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's one of the obvious downsides. But what about the people who are not even making it? I mean, I think you're talking about people that are like successful and that have like careers out.
Sort of, but even people that have.
What
like
about just someone
minor
that has
communities.
like 2,000? Whatever.
It's all the same. I really think it's the same because even
Right.
someone who has 2,000 followers, it's like you're interacting with 200 people in the comments versus 20,000.
Right.
But it's the same thing. You're interacting with all these people that are also connected to this web
Yeah.
of people that are thinking and behaving a certain way because there's reward for that. And
Yeah. So how are we going to grow out of that?
well, that's what's crazy is because it's also being influenced by China.
Yeah.
It's being influenced by these Russian troll farms. And also, I guarantee the United States is doing it as well.
Yeah.
Why would they not? Like, we know they do because there's a bunch of bots that retweeted and reposted, rather, without reposting it, by just posting it individually. The very same message about Elon Musk when he took over Twitter.
Yeah.
Should one man have all this power? And it was like the same exact quote over and over and over and over and over and over in these accounts that looked like they were just regular people, but they clearly weren't. They were bots. And, you know, that was one of the big points of contention when Elon purchased Twitter. Tell me how you know how many bots you have.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying it's probably 5% or less. And he was like, it might be. There's people that have analyzed and say it might be 80%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That was some guy from this FBI,
That's a high
correct?
number.
The guy who formerly worked for the FBI. Do you remember that? Yeah. So this is a guy, I believe he's a data analyst who was looking over the numbers and how this works. And it's obviously effective. And it's something that we know the other countries are doing. Like, why wouldn't we do it?